Revelations chapter 12 verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony, and they did not love their lives to the death. This is my testimony. I was addicted to pornography, and God saved me. Now I'm going to keep this video as short as possible because that's how my usual videos are. But for you watching this, I want you to keep this in mind. This is not just about me. Even though I am speaking my testimony, I don't want you to focus just on me. I want you to reflect and focus on you. This is all about you and God. I'm going to keep this video as short as possible, but I'm going to make sure that I am completely transparent and not leave out any details. This all started when I was a kid. First or second grade, probably first grade. I was around 6 years old when I first discovered pornography. And so it happened when I was playing video games on a certain website. And of course, there's ads, there's pop-ups. One thing led to another. As a curious kid, I clicked on it, did more research, and I found out what the word porn is and what it consists of. And so indulging in this was pretty gradual as a little kid. Some years I stopped, some years I was, just curious, just popped in my mind, so I would just take a look at it again. And then later on in middle school, it creeped back up on me, and it became an everyday thing. Every single morning before school, bam. And then moving on to high school, it was on and off because that's when I became a little more mature about things. Fast forward to pretty recently. Before I actually started making videos about God, I was gradually building my relationship with God. As I was making these self-improvement videos, I was getting closer and closer to God. And my window to my addiction became smaller and smaller. And it became to where I would commit that sin. I would watch porn every now and then. But that big wave of guilt just hits me. It became a cycle of sinning. God, forgive me. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. To God, forgive me. I did it again. That wave of guilt would just be so bad to the point where I would lose everything. I would stop everything that I was doing. I would stop my content. I would stop talking to my friends, my family. I would just cut everything off and just isolate myself. The guilt, the disgust I had for myself it was just unbearable. I was just disgusted. Even though I knew what was gonna happen while committing that sin, while watching that video, there came a point where I was just tired. Me in that self-improvement era of my content, I understood what it means to be disciplined. I understood what it means to be serious about your goals. And so right then and there, I decided, you know what? It's time that I go all in on God, because I can't do this myself. No matter how hard I've tried, no matter how much willpower that I've had, that I tried pushing through myself, it always resulted in the same outcome. Me on my bed, disgusted with myself. Here's when we get into how my life turned around with God and what I actually did. Now, this wasn't something that happened overnight to where I prayed to God and then the next day I'm like, oh, not a porn addict anymore. I don't feel the urges. Let's get to it. Does not work that way. Main thing that I did was I surrendered my life to God. When you surrender your life to God, He gives you opportunities to make changes in your life. He gives you a path to a career that He wants you to pursue. He shows you traits and qualities about yourself that you may or may not know that inspire you to pick up a new hobby. What this is doing is all of this is replacing your bad habit with something new. All that time you would be spending watching that nasty, you know what I'm saying? You're working on yourself instead. How do you get rid of a bad habit? You replace it. You start pursuing God's purpose that He's called you to do. You start picking up new hobbies. All of this is not only keeping you occupied from the devil tempting you, but this is building character. As you begin to develop yourself and get closer to God, you start to change. Your interests start to change. You start becoming more of a man of God or woman of God. And that thought, that temptation, doesn't interest you no more. Whatever your addiction is, it wasn't overnight. I didn't just wake up one day addicted to porn. You didn't just wake up one day addicted to weed. It all started with one image. There's a quote that goes along with this concept, and it's, "The chains of habit are too small to be felt until they are too strong to be broken. There was a start to your addiction that didn't happen overnight. So that means there is a start to your salvation, to your walk with God and Him saving you. But the only difference is, with this one, your walk with God actually happens right in that second. Him saving you happens right in the second you seek Him. Mark chapter 4 verse 30. Your faith, you seeking God, is like a mustard seed. It is like a mustard seed which, when it is sown on the ground, is smaller than all of the seeds on earth. But when it is sown, it grows up and becomes greater than all herbs. You are not your past. You are how you respond to your past. And it doesn't start with you. It starts with God. This is my testimony, and I hope that this message is able to connect with those who need it. All credits to the Most High. God bless. This is it. We better wild out. Do everything we can. This is the first time I've ever been nervous. Just even slightly nervous before a video. Because I've never done anything like this. Especially for a video. That's where the most growth happens, right? When we're uncomfortable. God is with me. And this should be fun. This should definitely be fun.